So with lunch this morning, I'm going to be having a beer I'm extremely excited about by a brewery that I love everything that I've ever tried by them, and that's the another one, India Pale Ale by the Maine Beer Company. So I have had a few beers by Maine Beer Company. They have all been excellent. The Peeper Pale Ale is, sorry if I get any of these wrong, going from memory. The Mo, which was a pale ale, I believe, or kind of an IPA type thing. And I missed my chance to get my hands on one of their stouts that was recently near me. Kind of regret that because I thought I didn't like stouts at the time, although right now I'm discovering they're actually, some of them, very much to my taste. So this is another one, and I'm just, one thing I love about this company is just how simple it's all presented. I love like an ornate, complicated, cool-looking can. One of my favorite cans right now is by Oddside Brewing. It's their Bonbon de la Muerte or something. Very strong stout that I'll try and do a review of. It's one of my favorites that I've tried so far. But see, this is the total opposite. It's just, I think you can only get it other than going to the brewery itself in Maine, specifically Freeport, Maine. I was looking at some pictures online. It looks absolutely beautiful. I highly recommend, if you'd like to learn about who makes your beer, highly recommend you go to the Maine Beer, Maine Beer Company website, search them up. I just had a great time looking through it, reading their story. Very inspiring to me as a small business owner. And so specifically what it says on the back, just a few lines. It says, when we expanded our brewery in 2013, the stress was something to say the least. I ran out of creative juice for a minute, so I decided to have another one for inspiration. And again, as a small business owner, man, can I relate to that. Not that I own a brewery or anything in this industry at all, but yeah, when I've tried to expand in the past, sometimes successfully, other times less successfully, or even failing, very frustrating and chaotic experiences. So I just feel like I can relate to that. So I've never had this beer. This another one, IPA, but IPA is just one of my all-time favorite styles. Obviously, that doesn't make me special, but just for a reference here, now, what do I associate this company's taste profile with? So far, from the ones I've tried, very crisp, great representation of the style, not going with a bunch of crazy flavors. I think those are called adjuncts, right? A lot of times when they add extra tastes and sugary things, which I like that too, but it's going to be my lunch. I'm going to have this with lunch. Oh, I've also had their lunch IPA. That's, I guess, one of their most famous. And then they have the dinner double IPA, which I would kill to get my hands on. I know a lot of their stuff you can only get it if you go to them, sometimes even on release day, I hear. I can understand why. This is just so good. I recommend them so much to anyone who just wants to get clean, crisp, delicate even, a lot of times, representation. The last one I had was the Mo, M-O. And again, I'm embarrassed to say, I can't remember if that was a pale ale or an IPA or somewhere in between even, I would almost say. And man, I barely ever buy the same beer twice. It's rare. I can name a few. There was the Gray Matter. That was like an oak-aged farmhouse or saison by Fair State Brewing, I think, going from memory here, sorry. Man, that thing I loved. So good at the hot days of summer as they ended here in Texas. Now it's getting a little cooler, so I don't crave it as much. But I got that a few times back-to-back, and some other ones like it around then, a few times back-to-back. But usually, it's pretty uncommon for me. There's just so much good stuff to try. But the Mo, the Maine Beer Company one that I had before this, went back the same night, got another one, had it the next day. That's unusual for me, really. And what I remember specifically about that beer is how, for the first 10 sips I had, every single sip was delicious, and every single sip tasted different in some substantial way, and they were all good. Every single time it was good. Some were more clean, hoppy and bright, and some were more floral and kind of nuanced and more delicate, and then some were just bready, which is a taste I love, kind of light bread, yeasty taste. And I just swear each one, I don't know how it tasted so good each time. Now I'm doing something I don't normally do. I should get into this because I like to have them when they're quite cold and then let them warm up a little, as I've mentioned before. So bottom leather slogan, just a few more comments on the bottle, I guess, before I open it, because it's just so pretty to me, so simple. Bottom of the label just says, do what's right. I think that's their motto. Simple. I even think about that, that's a good message, because it's like so simple, and a lot of times we do know what's right, and it's pretty obvious, and we just don't always choose to do it. But I think it always feels better when we do choose. So I love their message. I love the clean profile and of everything about their presentation and their taste. So I guess let's get into it. Just if you want to see the can, it's just the lid top. What do you call this thing? Sorry, that's not going to focus, is it? But it's just like you'd expect, clean and simple. Like I said, go check out their website if you're watching this. So let's get it open. I'm pretty psyched. Nice little sound there. Whoops, still getting my setup perfected. That was real professional. I appreciate you bearing with me here. So, man, pretty. God, I'm colorblind, by the way. Not like tremendously so, but in the way that there's a lot of guys, I guess, that are. It's kind of a common thing. So. My color skills are just not the best. I mean, this looks beautiful to me. I can see colors and stuff. I'm not black and white here, but I'm not so great at defining colors. But I would say this is to me, it looks like a orange and white. Like head is nice, and it almost looks like an orange creamsicle, this whole thing to me. Which it smells like a Maine beer to me. Like there's a clean. I went to Maine when I was a little kid. That probably biases me a little bit, but I grew up in Texas. Total opposite. It's hot, dry, well, sometimes humid, but Southwest desert, and then hill country. Pretty greens and trees and stuff, but very different than Maine, which I associate personally as a little kid with like craggy and strong weather and ocean spray and like fishing boats and coastline and just clean air. I guess that's where I'm going with this. It just feels, from my memories as a little kid, it just felt so clean, and that's what I associate, and that's why I'm so excited about this brewery. I guess it just lines up with my own personal sorry, I've got a little alarm. My own personal feelings. So let's give it a taste. Wow, so that's like really citrusy. I would say more. Ooh, there's that like bread yeast taste at the back that I love. So like citrus. Man, hold on. I'm still learning to describe all this in any way that makes any sense. It's not always like what. There's so many common words you hear used, and I'm not sure if any of those are right, but they're kind of right. Bitter, hops, a little bit of citrus. It feels much bigger to me than their other beers, which probably to me means that I'm not going to be seeking this one out specifically. I can already tell that. It's delicious. It's so good. It's I really hoped for something like this. It's perfect. It's just, when I think of Maine Beer Company, I guess the one I am craving the most is the Mo, for how simple and restrained it felt to me. And this is great beer, no doubt, to me. It just tastes so fresh. 7% ABV. And I love this taste too. I mean, there's a but at the end of all this. I'm just trying to figure out how to formulate it. I guess it's just that, but when I'm getting Maine Beer Company, I'm going to be seeking out their, I guess, more delicate, more restrained, even more simple but it's good. I've got some food I need to get out of the oven. It's just some real simple chicken tikka masala with rice, and Indian Pale Ale with Indian food, can't go wrong there. So let me go grab that, and I'll be back. Oh, so just a few, something other I wanted to mention was this beer was bottled on September 29th of this year. It is now Halloween today, October 31st, so that's 32 days or so, 33 days since it was bottled. So very, very fresh. I mean, I'd love it if I could even get it within the first 2 weeks, which I probably could have. I'm getting to be a little more attentive to the beer availability in my area. There's a store I love in Austin, Texas called Witchcraft. It's like a craft brew focused, just real chill, and it's near me. Nice to go in. They've been so nice there. I mean, and they've got so much stuff. One of the things I really love about Witchcraft is that they have singles of like every single thing they ever get. I mean, it's limited, so that's, and I think that's, as a small business owner, I admire their marketing approach, because it's not dishonest at all. I love it, actually. They have limited space, a ton of super cool beers of every style. The shelves are cramped, and they're always cramped. So they have to move. They have to not have an infinite supply of everything. Small store. So when I see them send me a marketing email that says the new stuff they got in and it's a limited supply and you can only get one per customer, the inner, massive beer nerd in me just leaps that opportunity. And so the fact that I can buy singles of stuff of limited quantity that's special, and they don't, of course they have to mark up the singles a little bit more. I hope they do. I want them to stay in business. But it's not so extravagant that I feel like I'm getting a good deal. Maybe not a bargain, because I'm buying some of the coolest beers I can find. A lot of them are expensive by anyone's standards. But being able to buy just one is just so nice instead of a 4-pack, a 6-pack. So, now one other thing I wanted to do was take a couple bites of my food. I don't want it to turn into something where you sit here and watch me eat. I'm sorry. But I did want to just kind of contrast the food with the beer. So, just see how this goes. That's really hot. It's good though. It's tikka masala chicken, just oven heated, but fresh. I get it from a place called Snap Kitchen, in Austin. I've got an interesting little setup. They deliver some food to me each, a few times a week. Kind of put a bunch of sriracha sauce on it too. I love spicy food. Kind of considered not always the best choice with a IPA, actually, but it's just so good. Perhaps not the ideal perfect pairing, but good, definitely good. And the bitterness kind of cleanses that rich, spicy, buttery chicken and rice. So yeah, definitely a pairing I think you can't ever really go wrong with, is the India Pale Ale with Indian food. I don't know if that's a stupid thing to say or not, but it seems to work just fine. Pale ales, and so, I don't know, it works for me, I guess. But it's not always my first choice. I'm kind of learning what other options I have. For example, Pilsner's not my favorite type at all to drink by themselves. I found with like buffalo wings, I get the craziest spicy I can get, buffalo wings. And Pilsner is, I think right now, my favorite. The Live Oak Pilsner, Pils, they call it, is so far the best. I think that's like, is it Austrian style? No, what's the word for it? There's a couple different kinds of Pilsners, right? It's not the German one, the Bohemian Pilsner. So, anyway, final thoughts I just wanted to give about this IPA, this Another One IPA by Maine Brewing Company. For me, could never go wrong getting anything from Maine Beer. I think this is another knockout for what it is. I think I would almost always purchase Maine Beer to drink if it was available fresh to me over virtually almost anything else. Why? Because I just know I'm going to love it. If I was out and I didn't see a bunch of beers I recognized for some, and I saw Maine, I would leap at whatever they had, including this. If they had two things by Maine Beer, I would most likely choose the other one because I think it would probably be a little more held back, and this one's a little more in your face, to me at least. And that's not a problem to me at all. It's great. It's just the epitome of Maine Beer in my mind is that crisp, like I said, like clean air feel. Clean, crisp. And so I'm going to stick probably with that Mo, the Peeper, and the Lunch IPA. Those are the three that I really, really... And plus that porter. I think it was a stout porter. Can't remember which one it was. Maybe a coffee porter or something that I missed my chance. I'll get it when I can see it, okay? So I'm going to sign off with that. Can't go wrong with Maine Beer, ever. And so don't forget to subscribe. Weird, I guess I'm putting this up on YouTube now. Subscribe or like. It really, really helps. If you're watching this far, please leave a comment. I think you're probably crazy if you watch this far. But if you're here, please, anything that's on your mind or questions or thoughts or recommendations or whatever you got, okay? So, signing off.